Hi, I'm Kevin Neal Smith, and as you know, here at Independence Television, we like to give you a window into your community. I recently sat down with Superintendent Rod Rock to discuss a variety of things. We talked about the school district, why this is going to be such an interesting year, what's coming up for the students, new opportunities for both the students and the community, and we also discussed the bond and Clarkston for Life. So it's a really good chat, and we would love to present that to you now. Rod, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Great having you here. So I understand the school district kind of kicked off their academic year a little differently this year by holding a community gathering of sorts. Now you had Dr. Gabe Paletti from, I think, Penn State?
University of Pennsylvania.
University of Pennsylvania, and he's a positive psychologist. So why don't you tell me a little bit about that? What did he discuss?
Well, as part of our Clarkston for Life initiative, we're really trying to think about the well-being of our entire community, what the research behind well-being, how it relates to achievement and success in life, how that relates to health and wellness and the way we think, and being a whole person. So he came in and talked about resilience, and there's a book that he was part of. It's called The Resilience Factor. So really asking us to think about what are the steps to resilience, how do you think when you have adversity in your life. So they say that there's like an ABC model. So often when an adversity happens, there's a consequence to that adversity, and the consequence we often think is based on the adversity itself. But what the psychologists are saying is it's really based upon the beliefs, the way we think about the adversity, the way we talk to ourselves, the way we explain it to ourselves. And so a lot of the consequence has to do more with the beliefs than maybe the even actual what happened. So we want our kids to be able to really use their minds and think about that they have a lot of control over the consequences and the things, the way that they live their lives, the outcomes, and that a lot of that happens in their minds. So we want kids who really have strong minds and a strong ability to think when something happens, what might be a different explanation or a different cause than what immediately comes to mind, or what might be a different outcome. And if they can do that, whether it's in a relationship or academically or anything that happens in life, then chances are they're going to have a happier, healthier life. So we really want our kids and our community to understand that. So the opening day, the community gathering was like Chamber of Commerce people and business people, people from civic organizations and churches, older adults, parents, students who came in to hear about that. And we're going to have an ongoing conversation to help build that literacy around well-being.
Awesome. Now you mentioned the ongoing conversation, and we filmed that speaker, and I believe the idea is to segment out that speaker's discussions and then show it to community members and keep that conversation going. How can people get involved with that? Is there a plan yet in place, or is there somewhere they can go to kind of stay up to date on when that may happen?
Well, I think if they could use that video, and I know you're breaking up into segments, and maybe have conversations around it, show pieces of it at different gatherings, whether it's a PTA or a church or a civic group, Chamber of Commerce, and just talk about it and frame the conversations and listen to the research, that would be wonderful. And then we have lots of other things going on where we've had book studies at the library around a couple different books around well-being. We're having we've had some screening of different films around well-being, and we're talking about some more of those. So if people could keep their eyes open for those kind of opportunities to engage in conversations, and also to maybe facilitate some of those conversations, whether it's at the dining room table or a group you gather with, that would really be wonderful.
Cool. And so to keep up to date on any of that, people can go to your Facebook page?
Yes, we have a Clarkston for Life Facebook page. We also have a Twitter, Clarkston for Life, and there's information on the updated Clarkston Community Schools website. So there are lots of different places, and we're trying to get it out at the library and around town. So
sweet. Now we're going to change gears a little bit. Let's talk about the school year, the academic year in general. What is making this year particularly exciting? Anything special or new going on?
Well, the most exciting thing is always our kids and their amazing accomplishments. And as we hear more about, I know we had some student performers at Taste of Clarkston who are doing some amazing things. A young lady who spent some time up at Interlochen this summer and has some incredible talents that she's working to develop. And we have our madrigals will be performing at a state performance in Kalamazoo at Western Michigan University coming up. And of course, we have all of our athletic teams. Our equestrian team did really well and went to the regionals. So it's always just so exciting to watch the things that our kids accomplish and to get to know them throughout the school year. We also have Clarkson Construction Technology Program that's initiated this year. We have about 75 kids, 9th and 10th graders involved, and they're really learning about construction technology. We know there's a shortage of the trades in terms of plumbers and architects even, and people with those kinds of skills. So we're trying to develop that at a younger age and give kids those kind of opportunities, which we're really excited about. And our school district will be undertaking a strategic planning process where we're really trying to think about what does success mean and how that might be individual for different kids. So what might be opportunities for them in our school district and our community to deepen their understanding and pursue their passions. And we're really excited about the school year and collaborations, and it has to be great because these are our kids. It can't be like an off year. It has to be the best year ever for every kid who goes to our school system. So that's what we're trying to accomplish.
That's really interesting that you mentioned that you're creating these opportunities for people to, or for kids to check out different trades. How do you go about determining that kind of thing? Like, how did you guys evaluate and assess the fact that there was a shortage in these areas?
Well, we had some conversations with some different unions around the area. We went to the heavy machine operators out in Howell and talked to them, and they came to us. We've paid attention to the things from Oakland County Economic Development and the jobs that are available. And even as we've gone through the bond process here in the construction of the football field or our buildings, we know that there's a shortage. So the timing of getting the bond, the documents out there, the bids is really important so that you're on the schedule and you get better pricing based on that. And you know, there just aren't enough people as our economy comes back to build homes and to even, I've heard, like I said, architects, there's a shortage. Just people are not necessarily going into those careers. So we're trying to do a better job of not only helping our kids if they want to go to college, but we want them to have a job, a paid job. And there are lots of jobs that you can get that don't require a college degree. So.
Awesome. Now, you mentioned the bond. Is there any kind of update or that you could make, or what are some of those milestone moments from this year for the bond?
Well, we're hoping that people have been out to the football, lacrosse, soccer, track, and you can see all the amazing things out there, not only in terms of the surface, but the track itself and the fencing and the field events that are out there. It's the goalposts. It's really a nice, beautiful thing that is going to be enduring and something we're happy about for our community. And we have some secure entrances and parking lots that were updated at Andersonville and at Bailey Lake and at Springfield Plains. So you'll see a different traffic pattern there for buses and trying to increase safety. And then we had, like I mentioned, Andersonville and Bailey Lake have new entrances, which was quite comprehensive and over the summer to get those done in time. And then we'll be working on our other buildings as we're planning those right now to get the bids out and know exactly what we have to do because it's different for each building in terms of configuration of the entrance. And we also have completely wireless district now, 100%, which is something we've worked on for a long time, and we've accomplished that. And we're working on some furnishings and different things, piloting, trying to figure out exactly what kind of furnishing might be best to really get kids to collaborate and communicate and be flexible, not just your standard desk that you sit behind that's difficult and heavy to move, but what does furniture look like in business? And so we're trying to explore how all those things relate to learning and doing the best we can for our kids with the resources our community has afforded us.
That's great. Yeah, we've even talked about, you mentioned the new field here at the high school, because we obviously film those events with the students, the sporting events, the football games and such, and we've joked about it here that the production value has increased. I mean, it looks like the field looks like we're filming a college game now.
It's beautiful.
It looks amazing.
We're very fortunate.
It looks amazing. Now I understand you guys have an Easter Seals partnership with North Sashabaw Elementary.
Yes, part of our Clarkson for Life initiative, as I've mentioned, is about well-being, and we know that there are a number of kids in our community who have experienced extensive trauma in maybe they've lost a parent or they've had drug abuse in their family, or maybe they have a parent in jail, maybe they've been abused sexually or physically, otherwise neglected. And there's a lot of research on how that affects the way kids learn and their not only how they learn in school, but their lifelong health outcomes. So the more adverse childhood experiences you've had, the less healthy you'll be, and you might have 20-year shorter lifespan unless you have that resilience in those relationships and things. So we've partnered with Easter Seals, and Brent Worth is a parent in our community and the president of Easter Seals, or the executive director. And so we'll be having counseling services right in our school during the day, after school, for kids to go and to have that, have conversations and to help them get through their difficult times and build that resilience. And we're also working with the Clarkson Medical Group to get medical services in our schools, so our community can expect that in the next few months. And those are things that we're very happy to have, and that those kind of partnerships with our community, and to really utilize the rich resources we have here to make sure that kids have a good life and that all kids have access to it.
That's cool. Yeah, there's an amazing amount of resources here. So I was just at, and you were as well, at the new Biodiversity Outdoor Lab behind the board office. That's another really cool resource. And you got that from
Got my name tag here. Yeah, so a few years ago I had a teacher who came to me and said, we'd like to build an outdoor classroom, and we'd like to put right behind the board office and by the library there, and we'd like to have, think about the pond. And we looked at the property line and we weren't sure where the line was. We distinguished the line between the township and the district, and then they had went about writing grants with Kathy Yellowshawn at Renaissance High School. And so they partnered with Renaissance High School and our Young Fives at the Early Childhood Center, and they cleared out areas. There's a 300-year-old tree there, and they made a picnic area underneath it. They put up some bird houses and found ways, the Renaissance kids, to keep the critters out in terms of design and engineering. And we had lots of donations from Ace Hardware and Home Depot and other local entities, the Farm and Garden Club. And so they cleaned out trails, and they put up information about different trees and species. And they bought backpacks so the kids they have microscopes that they can look at things. And it was a really unique partnership with Renaissance High School kids and the Early Childhood Center, the Young Fives, and to see how they designed it and planned it and built it, and all the different teachers who were involved. And it's really super exciting, and I hope people can get out there and walk around and see it and feel it. It's quite remarkable, I think.
I might be wrong, but I think I heard that there's like 30 acres back there. Is that accurate? 30 acres worth of trails?
Could be.
That's a number I feel like I
might be closer to 10, but we'll go with 30 sounds good.
Somewhere between 10 and 30. Yeah, I heard they were asking the Young Fives about that 300-year-old tree, like, how old do you think this is? And one kid's like, 29? And they're like, it's 300 years old. What?
It's hard to get your mind around.
Yeah, it was crazy. Yeah, it was really cool. I saw they were reading them stories, and there was snack time, and the hunt around to find bugs in different trees. And that's really
great
cool.
opportunities to learn, and we know how important it is to get kids outside, so we hope to expand on that.
Why do you think it is so important to kind of get kids outside at that age to start thinking about how important the natural world is?
Well, I think it's important at all ages, because there's just so much in our environment that we can study and explore and learn about, and so we need to get kids outdoors more. There's a lot in terms of the fresh air and things, and their interest and other ways that they can explore that. I think different kids have different interests, and so if we can peak those in different ways, then I think it's really beneficial.
Yeah, I think it can even help just build a more empathetic
absolutely,
youth base,
absolutely,
right?
Yes. Their awareness and their being able to touch frogs, and it definitely would have an effect on the way they think about them and interact with them. Absolutely.
That's awesome. Now, you mentioned some of the other partnerships in addition to the Easter Seals. Any one of those in particular are you especially excited about? Well,
I'm excited about, I'm fortunate to be in this position in this school district, and to have a supportive Board of Education, and to have so many people I work with, and our teachers and our administrators, and who will let me have ideas and make things happen. So the more we learn about, like I said, health and well-being, and how it relates, the physical health with the mental health and the social and all those things, and that to be able to dream and to talk about things. We recently, that we've seen some states and countries that have these baby boxes They're actually made out of cardboard, and so if you have a new baby in a town, or you get a box, and it's a safe place to put your baby to sleep, so there's nothing else in the box. There's not the asphyxiation and some of those things that are tragic, horrible things that happen. You know, if you had a baby laying next to you in bed, how dangerous that is. So they provide these boxes, and there might be diapers and different things that come with it, and information on parenting, critical information on development. So I reached out to our Clarkson Construction Technology program at the junior high, and I said, could you make one of these boxes? And we had a local family who had a baby on last Thursday, and by Monday we had a box. So we're excited to think about what we might do with that, to get information out to new parents, and how we might partner with pediatricians and OBGYNs in the community to really help educate and inform on the importance of early life, or even before life, and prenatally. And those things are so important. So the more that we learn about health and well-being, the more we want to do, the better we want to do, the more responsibility and obligation I feel to do the best I can for the kids and the families who reside here. So I'm excited to be able to learn things and dream things and then see those come to fruition. It's really rewarding and a blessing for me in my life.
That's awesome. Well, I tell you what, I appreciate everything you're doing here.
Thank
I know
you.
a lot of people do. I'm really happy
Thank
to
you so
speak
much.
with you.
My
I look forward to
privilege.
our next time talking.
Okay, great. Thank you.